All right, so if you feel like you can handle becoming an adjuster, well, here's the truth. Maybe you can handle it, maybe you can't. Stay tuned. Okay, so here's a question that I get a lot, and I mean a ton, like how to get started to become an adjuster. So hopefully this video helps multiple people. Now, if you are watching this video, I'm sure you already know, maybe somebody told you about the industry. Well, number one, the first thing you have to do is you do have to get a license. In certain states, you have to be licensed to get to become an adjuster. Now, most states do require a license, so it's like 34 of them require a license. Now, the states that you want to get are going to be Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. You do not have to be licensed. Texas, you have to be licensed. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all states that are basically coastal, including California, New Mexico, Arizona, all of those states require licenses. In the Midwest, New York, Pennsylvania has auto appraiser license that you have to have, and Indiana, Michigan, they have, Kentucky, Oklahoma, they all have adjuster licenses that you have to get, okay, to be able to work as an adjuster. Now, the reason why you want the coastal states is the coastal states have the most catastrophes from hurricanes, and those are the ones where you get paid like the buku bucks and you stay working for a really long time. I mean, we're talking 712s, $30+ an hour. So you think about what overtime is going to be, and it's going to be amazing for you. Now, some of y'all are getting with companies that do pay less than that, which is fine. I mean, at least you're going in and getting the experience, and you're still probably making more working than you were at your previous job. But again, to become an adjuster, one of the first steps you have to do is you have to get licensed. Now, here's a caveat to that, is that they do offer emergency licenses when there's an emergency catastrophe. A state of emergency has to be declared in that state, and those licenses only last about 90 days. And if, as claims are dwindling, you don't have your license, they're going to release you. That's what they say. They're going to release you until the next one, because you don't have your license. So it's always better to go in with your license. I know people I've been through different trainings with, and they said all the people who had their licenses are still working. I wish I would have done mine while I had the emergency license, but I said, oh no, I'm going to wait, and now they're working and I'm not working. So you want to be able to have your license. Now, in order to get your license, most states require a 40-hour course. Some states don't. Louisiana does not require a 40-hour course. Some states don't require an exam either. Like Florida, if you go through a certain course, you do not have to take the exam. Good, right? Maybe. I mean, not everybody can live in Florida. Number one, they do have in-person courses. Now, those in-person classes can range anywhere from $347 to, I think there was one school in Texas that was like, I don't know, like, it sounded like it was in the 4 figures. So you're talking 1,000 up. In Georgia, I think the in-person classes are like $349 or such, and you go for 4 days. You can do 4 days straight, or you can do 2 days and then the next week you come back for another 2 days. If you do that, keep in mind that you're probably going to have to take off of work in order to do that. So how much is that class costing you? You're going to think, okay, well, if let's say you make $15 an hour, but you got to take off for 4 days, you are going to be missing out on 40 hours of work essentially, right? Or maybe 35 hours or 30 and some change. So basically you're going to be missing out on a week's pay. I mean, just depends on how you work. So even though that class may only cost 350 or something like that, in the long run, it's going to run you like $700+. So anyway, at the end of the day, that's kind of what it is if you do the in-person courses. But the benefit is you do those in-person courses, course, and then you go and take your test. You're going to more than likely pass. I mean, you know that, you know, in 4 days you're done with it. It's over. You've done your 40 hours. And if that's a better learning style for you, I do recommend that you do that instead of doing the online, which is the other option. If you're in a city or state where online isn't available to you, you do want to go ahead, I mean, in person isn't available to you, you want to go ahead and do the online course. Now, your online course is going to be 40 hours too, but it's probably going to take you at least 6 weeks to get through it, and I mean at least 6 weeks to get through it. After you do your 6 weeks, because you're also going to want to have prep time to study, you're going to have to go back and review some things, but the most important thing is after you complete your course is to go through the practice questions, and I mean a ton of them. You want to do like 200 to 300 practice questions a day, and you want to do that for about 7 days. So really you're looking at 7 weeks. It could really even go into 10 weeks if you look at an average college course. I know when I was in school, I went to the University of Cincinnati, and we did 2 classes twice a week, so that's 4 hours, and our class lengths were 10 hours or 10 weeks long. Our classes were 10 weeks long, so you have 40 hours of course time in class. And if you do that with your study style for the adjuster's exam, it's going to take you about 10 weeks, so 2 months, 2.5 months. Now, I've seen people when they do in online, it take them over a year to get through it. And if you buy your course, if you don't complete it within a year, you have to buy that course again. So so I've been told. So it's only good for a year. You need to go ahead and take that test. And some people try to take it. They say they studied, and then months later they still haven't taken the exam. The trick is to get in the information in as short a period of time as you can, and then go take the exam. Look in the description. You'll see the options for live online training. Some companies do provide that way you can ask questions and you can get help. Now that is also going to run you about $3 something too as well. If you do online just regular self-paced study, look into expending about $200. So you'll save yourself about $150 by doing it self-paced and online. Okay, it's one route to go, and if that study style works for you, then great. I know it really didn't work for me the first time. I had to take the exam twice, but what helped me between that first and second time was taking math practice questions. I mean, I took 3 practice exams every single day for about 7 days, and then when I did my New York exam, I did the same thing for about 15 days, and I was able to pass on that first attempt. And that program I used the second time for those courses was it was actually a very basic program. They didn't have any pictures, no video, they just talked. But the guy, I think, who was doing the audio, he was definitely sounded like he was a professional adjuster, because you could tell he was going off script. He wasn't just reading what was on the screen, and that helped. He gave examples. I believe he gave examples, or maybe I just knew some examples from already working as an adjuster, already working in claims. To spending about $200, make sure you get yourself some additional practice questions. Some companies offer just a booklet. I know in Georgia the lowest price I found was like $89 or something like that, and all they did was just offer like a self-study book. It wasn't a lot of of information. I don't think it was the best out there. Some companies, when you do go in person, they're going to upsell you the book, or they're going to require you to get the book too, and so that's going to be another $50 or something like that. So that's that's step one. Everybody always asks, how do I get started? Well, you get started by taking the adjuster course. Now, if this didn't answer your question and you're looking for how do you get started working, that's a totally different answer, and it calls for a totally different video. But if this video did help you, don't forget to like and subscribe. And leave in the comments of like what state you're in and what you need to know. I'm looking to spending about $500 total to go from taking your course, getting your fingerprints, and getting licensed. And I've mentioned that in other videos too as well. If you're in a state that does not require a license, you have to get your designated home state. Most people recommend Texas and Florida. I think at one time those must have been the only states where they were reciprocal with other states, meaning that you can work in other states. However, Georgia has the same reciprocities as both Florida and Texas. So, and a lot of people don't get Georgia, although Georgia has an opportunity to actually be impacted by storms more than Texas does, because it's right there on the coast. And no matter, even if a storm develops in the Gulf, and then it might go west, but it's always going to come back to the east, because that's the way the weather patterns move. So Georgia is a really good state to get, and I do live in Georgia, so maybe I am biased to get towards it. I see why people would get Florida, but the Florida, getting the Florida license, you may not know this, getting a Florida license not only requires the exam, but then you have to apply for the license, do your fingerprinting, and then there's one more step to that too. So it's 3 different payments that you have to provide to the state of Florida insurance department before you get your license. With Georgia, it's one thing, and you're in and out and you're done. If my recommendation is to apply for like a New York or California license the same time you apply for a designated home state license, because you'll be able to have the opportunity to get information into your system all at once and then just go take the 2 exams. New York requires its own course, so no matter what, you do have to go out and buy a course for New York. With reciprocity licenses, once you take a test, you just have to pay for your other licenses. So I know that gets a little confusing most of the time, where people think, oh, I have my Texas license, so I'm covered in all the states. You're wrong about that. You actually still have to go out and buy North Carolina, which is $150. You still have to buy South Carolina, which is $130. North Carolina license, your first time is $170. When you still have to buy your Florida license, your Georgia license, your Mississippi license, Alabama, both of those are $100. And you still have to keep them renewed. South Carolina license expired a few days ago. So everybody's license, sometimes for certain states they expire at the same time. You have to get your continuing education credits too. This isn't just a get a job and I'm working type of thing. This is actually very insurance is, it's heavily government regulated. That's why it's such a good industry. And just like you want your medical professional staying up to date with the latest changes, as insurance, you have to stay up to date with the latest changes of laws and policies, and things do change. And the more educated you are, the better employed you are going to be. So don't take this lightly. Don't just think like, oh, this is gonna be my job, or it's not just a customer service job. It's not. You have to have construction knowledge. You have to have some deep computer skills. Your English needs to be really well, or your English needs to be good. So it's not just a truck driver's job, or okay, I got the job, I got the license, or and I got the job. It's not like that. Okay, so those are your first steps. If this did not help you, please let me know by just saying in the comments that, hey, okay, I did this first step, now what's my next step? Okay, and that may require a different type of conversation, because again, I can't help everybody one on one. So that may require a deeper conversation, and programs you can use. For Georgia, you can go to majoradjusters.com, and then for all other states, I'll go with them. Their quality, and they have those live online class training. Make sure when you do get your course that you sign up for the adjuster general or all lines adjuster course. Do not sign up for the producer's license. That's the wrong license and course to take. So you won't be able to get your license with that course. All right, so that's all I got.